Before we even begin, I need you to understand one thing. What you are about to hear will challenge you, confront you, maybe even shake you, because nobody talks about this truth openly. Not your friends, not the men around you, not society, and definitely not the women who have already learned it the hard way. But today, I am going to say it without filters, without hesitation, without protecting anyone's ego. Because if you are an older man, or a man who is becoming one, you need to hear this with absolute honesty. Women are not drawn to you for the reasons you think. They don't fall for your age. They don't lose themselves over your money. They don't crave your presence because of your experience. That is what insecure men tell themselves. The real reason, the one nobody says out loud, is far more uncomfortable and far more powerful. And once you understand it, once you internalize it, once you see the psychology behind it, you will never approach women the same way again. You will stop chasing what doesn't matter and start becoming someone they can't ignore. We live in a time where modern dating feels like a chaotic war zone. Women are exhausted. They are tired of men who are physically 30 or 40, but emotionally 15. They are drained by partners who require mothering, men who crumble under the slightest pressure, and men whose entire sense of self-worth is tied to how many likes they get on social media. In this ocean of immaturity, a specific type of older man becomes not just attractive, but essential. He becomes a biological necessity. But here is the catch. Just being older is not enough. Wrinkles and gray hair are not aphrodisiacs. The type of man women truly desire, the one they want to sleep with, surrender to, and build with, is the man who offers something that money cannot buy and youth cannot fake: psychological safety. This is the only currency that matters to a woman's nervous system. If you cannot provide this, your age is just a number. But if you can, your age becomes your greatest weapon. If you are finding value in this deep dive into human psychology and want to master the dynamics of attraction, make sure you are subscribed. We don't just scratch the surface here. We dissect the reality of relationships. If you want to be part of the 1% of men who truly understand women, hit that subscribe button now. Let's get back to the truth. When I say women don't want an older man because of his age, most people miss what that really means. Because age by itself means absolutely nothing. Age is just the number of times the Earth has traveled around the sun while you remained the exact same person. Women aren't drawn to the calendar. They are drawn to the consequences of a man's self-growth. And that is where the truth becomes uncomfortable. Because so many men age without evolving. They grow older without becoming wiser. They survive the years, but they don't use them. Women want the older man who has turned time into mastery. The man who didn't run from difficulty, but studied it. The man who didn't crumble under pressure, but transformed through it. The man who didn't avoid self-reflection, but prioritized it. This type of man is attractive not because he has lived longer, but because he has lived intentionally. He has taken his failures, disappointments, heartbreaks, victories, losses, and moments of confusion, and he has used all of them as raw material to build a stronger, clearer, more stable version of himself. Most men waste their 20s and 30s trying to impress people who don't matter, chasing validation from women who don't respect them, chasing money for status instead of freedom. Then they reach their 40s and wonder why no one looks at them with admiration. They think it's the age working against them. It's not. It's the lack of inner development. Time only becomes attractive when you use it well. The man women want is the one who carries his years like a book of wisdom, not a list of regrets. He walks differently because life taught him the cost of moving without purpose. He speaks differently because he learned the damage caused by words spoken without awareness. He loves differently because he knows the difference between attachment and understanding. He doesn't need to be the loudest in the room because his energy speaks before he ever opens his mouth. What makes this man irresistible is that he has integrated life, not escaped it. He has emotional intelligence because he studied himself. He has boundaries because he's been drained. He has patience because he's seen chaos. He has discipline because he's experienced the consequences of not having it. This is what makes a woman's guard fall. Not age, not money, not physical strength, but internal maturity, psychological maturity, spiritual maturity. You see, one of the biggest illusions in modern dating is believing that women want older men because they can provide more material things. While financial stability is a baseline requirement for a serious life, It is not the trigger for genuine burning desire. The trigger is presence. Young men perform. Older men are. A younger man, or an immature older man, enters a room and feels the need to prove himself. He talks too much. He flashes his watch. He brags about his accomplishments. He tries to be the alpha by dominating the space. This is performance. It screams insecurity. It tells a woman, I need you to think I am great so that I can feel great. It is exhausting for her. The type of older man women want to sleep with has retired from the performance. He doesn't need theatrics. His silence carries more authority than another man's shouting. His stillness carries more confidence than another man's flexing. His calmness is not weakness. It is evidence of an internal world that is not at war with itself anymore. Women feel that. They sense it. They respond to it instinctively. Presence is the subconscious message a man sends long before he speaks. It is how he occupies a room, not with ego, but with grounded clarity. It is the quality of his eye contact. It is the rhythm of his breath. It is the stability of his emotions. It is the way he listens, fully, deeply, without the need to dominate the conversation. And that last part is crucial. Women are starving for men who listen with intention instead of listening with impatience. Listening is a form of power. It is quiet authority. It tells her, I am not here to impress you. I am here to connect with you. A man with presence makes a woman feel seen, not scanned, understood, not judged, valued, not used. And because this type of man is so rare, his presence becomes more seductive than any external trait. His energy makes her feel like she wants to surrender, not because she is weak, but because she recognizes strength she doesn't have to fear. This is also why presence is more attractive than success alone. Success without emotional maturity feels sharp, cold, and self-serving. But presence with maturity feels warm, steady, and trustworthy. Let's go deeper into the biology of attraction. A woman's attraction is biologically wired to seek safety. Not just physical safety, protection from bears or intruders, but emotional safety. Can this man handle my chaos? Can he handle the fluctuating waves of my emotions without drowning in them? The immature man reacts to a woman's emotions with his own emotions. If she is anxious, he gets angry. If she is sad, he gets frustrated. If she tests him, he becomes defensive. He is a leaf blowing in the wind of her mood. The older man women crave is not a leaf. He is the mountain. He is the container. When she brings her storm, he doesn't join it. He observes it. He holds his frame. He understands that her emotions are passing weather, and he is the unshakable ground. This trait, emotional stability, is the ultimate aphrodisiac. It allows a woman to leave her masculine survival mode and drop into her feminine energy. A woman cannot be feminine with a man she has to mother. She cannot be soft with a man she has to manage. When she is with a man who is reactive, volatile, and insecure, she has to stay on high alert. Her nervous system remains in fight or flight. But when she is with a man who has mastered his own emotions, her nervous system relaxes. She exhales. And in that exhale, desire is born. She trusts him not because he is perfect, but because he is regulated. He doesn't take her bad moods personally. He doesn't need her constant validation to feel like a man. He has his own mission, his own purpose, and his own internal validation source. This makes him dangerous in the best way possible. It makes him a challenge. Because he doesn't need her, he chooses her, and that distinction drives women wild. Finally, we must talk about competence. The only type of older man women want is the man who can teach them something. This isn't about being condescending or mansplaining, it's about having a depth of knowledge and capability that she respects. Women are hypergamous by nature. They look for leaders. They look for men they can look up to. Not physically, but competently. They want a man who knows how the world works, who can solve problems she can't, who can navigate complex situations with ease. This is the mentor or teacher dynamic. When a man has genuine wisdom, earned through years of mistakes, business battles, and life experience, he naturally assumes a leadership role. This competence extends to every area of life, including the bedroom. An older man who has done the work understands that intimacy is not a race. He understands the nuance of touch, the power of anticipation, and the importance of connection before friction. He isn't rushing because he has nothing to prove. He is confident in his ability to satisfy, which removes the anxiety that plagues younger men. But beyond sex, his competence makes life easier for her. He knows how to handle a crisis. He knows how to fix things. He knows how to plan. When a woman says she wants an older man, she is often saying, "I want a man who knows what he is doing so I don't have to carry the weight of leading everything." She wants to trust your judgment. But to earn that trust, your judgment must be sound. You must be a man of your word. You must be a man of integrity. If you are older but you are still flaky, unreliable, and unsure of your direction, you are not a catch. You are a liability. The man she wants is the one who says he will do something and then does it. Simple, boring to some, but incredibly sexy to a woman who has been let down by boys in men's bodies. So the conclusion is this. Don't rely on the gray in your beard or the number in your bank account. Rely on the work you have done on your soul. Become the mountain. Become the man who has faced himself and won. That is the only type of older man women truly want.